Ah, greetings, salutations, and welcome to yet another video in our ownership series about this W202 C280 Auto Elegance. This video is going to deal with all the things we've done to it so far. So it's going to be a long one. I think we should get going. Roll the intro, please. Okay, there we are. We're going to give it a wash. Sorry, the car's a bit filthy, so I'll just get in here. Hop. You guys are going to come along. Come on, Scarlett. We'll get to that bit as well just now. Oh, good girl. Yeah. Okay, so I bought this car together with my friend Mikhail in the middle of May 2025. Let it warm up a bit. Our aim was to restore it in a few weeks for my cousin to use in the second half of August. Come on, warmy, warmy. So the very first thing we did, we sent it for service. Our buddy Leon, how's it, Leon? He's got a workshop and he slotted us in. And we got the car ready for roadworthy as well. It needed a big service and an inspection, so oil change. It also needed a drag link. You guys should be able to see that video now.
Okay, so I put a new drag link in because the drag link was shot, was messed up there. There's a new drag link in. You can check underneath. This car looks pretty fucking decent underneath, some surface rust and stuff. Exhaust system still looks good. Got a slight little sweat on the diff there that I won't be too concerned with. It's all of them. 4 new shoes on, General Ultimax 1s. She's going to go down now and go for wheel alignment and get it cleaned up.
And while we were at it, we also fitted 4 new tires. Very essential for a roadworthy. Mikhail and Leon immediately went for General Ultimax 1s. It's a decent budget tire, which unfortunately for this car has the wrong speed rating. I think they are rated to 190, which is why I put that sticker there. And the car can actually do 240. However, I don't do those sort of speeds, and they are highly illegal in South Africa. Oh, hot tip by the way, to stop this happening, that noise, my dad taught me. When you undo the brake, keep your foot on the pedal. Ta-da. Okay, let's have a look. There are the tires in question. They are brand new. The car passed its roadworthy first time round. We got advisories for the front shocks, or at least one of them, and the side repeater, which has since been done. I didn't get my license straight away because I applied for a special license plate. I've got a licensing registration roadworthy guy, and I sent him a whole list of numbers. Anything with 280 and 202, and this was the only one that was available. I had to pay a bit extra to get it, but it is 202 6-cylinder, if you were ever wondering. Of course, also fortuitous for next year. I wonder what could have done that. Right, red cats are good luck, aren't they? So I have polished quite a few of the scratches out. I find that highly rewarding to see most of the scratches disappear. I also think this is a beautiful color. And because it's a cheap and fairly common car, I can't do much wrong. But quite a few of the smaller scratches are now gone. I'm probably going to put in some B-roll as well. I enjoy cleaning, as we'll see in a second, and polishing. Okay, I also spend quite a bit of time on AliExpress, Temu, Goldwagen, that sort of thing, looking for parts. Goldwagen is our equivalent of Master Parts or parts shop, spare parts supply, generic, that sort of thing. They had the AC pump, the windscreen washer pump, the indicator wiper stalk combination thing, thermostat, and a couple of other things. I also went onto Temu or Temu, whatever you want to call it, and did multiple runs there. Mostly for superficial stuff, decals, vinyl, gear lever, leather dye, all of that I'll get into just just now in more detail. I did do an AliExpress run, but unfortunately AliExpress sends things through our post office, and our South African post office is bankrupt. And every time you pick something up, you have to pay 80 bucks for the privilege. So I got these spray nozzles for 22 Rand, and the Mercedes-Benz Star, this is a AliExpress replacement. It's not bad, it's a little bit wonky. A new one is almost 1,000 Rand. A used one on Facebook Marketplace with dodgy sellers is 500 Rand, and that one was 250. So a quarter of the price. That's why I did that. Right. What else? Oh yes, I bought some comedy stuff because I'm a big kid. Isn't this just a lovely color, eh? Look at this beautiful color. I should probably put on another nozzle. All right. Get to those just now. Yes, let's get the other nozzle. Oh yes, I almost forgot. I also went on to Takealot, which is our South African equivalent of Amazon, and I bought more sticky on felt, especially for that job. Comes in white, grey or black. That grey is for there. I also bought some neodymium magnets. Mikhail said I should get some, and then I used some of this black sticky tape to hold it down, because that thing was standing open the whole time because its catch was missing. So I put some neodymium magnets. You can still see some of it there, and thought that was fixed. I also bought a Temu cup holder which had Chinese newspaper in that someone's now thrown away. I'm so proud of the Chinese newspaper. Whoops. Another small job I did immediately was replace these two buttons. My dad was a Becker agent, the only one in Namibia for 30 odd years. So we've got a whole collection of Becker radios, CD shuttle stuff in Somerset West here in South Africa. And he's got a big archive up in Namibia. I eventually had to replace this. We've got quite a few of these Audio 10 radios, Becker BE insert number here. And these volume knobs go dicky. This one was the best one of the lot, although it does act up from time to time. And I also dug out quite a few of my old cassettes, because much like my dad, I'm a hoarder, and I kept them. So I'm genuinely enjoying listening to cassettes. It's actually quite refreshing. Although I wanted to call the car Monies or Monis or something like that, which is a nod to my cousin's name, and a red fizzy grape juice drink we have, which is about the color of the car, Mikhail and I bounced a few names around, and he insisted we call her Scarlet. I may have bought that pendant on Temu late one night, chopped the eyelids or the hooks off the top, and then attached it there. I put it there, paying very close attention that it was center Mr. Fenter in the middle Cyril, and I did that in the dark, as you probably see, and when I woke up the next day and looked, it's too high up. But I'm not taking that off because it has 63 tiny little pieces of double-sided tape on the back, and I'm not doing that again. Oh no, we don't have the key on us. What next? I coaxed the Becker Silverstone 2660 fiber optic 6-disc CD shuttle back to life. It had a broken cover. I'm going to have to put in B-roll. I got the magazine out and found two very interesting CDs inside. Eventually the shuttle played, but only the first few tracks, and then it says no mag. If you start skipping or moving CDs, it gives up, and then you have to reset the whole system or the car, or even take the magazine out. So that was busted. However, my dad said we have a spare somewhere, and he's got a few in Windhoek, so I just had to find one. So here are some of our spares. This is the only one I had here in Somerset West, and as you can probably see, it is a 2662, but it was at the bottom of a lake, or it lived in the Kalahari before it came to us. So that one did not work. I brought two back from Windhoek. One of them worked, and the other one is... Which one is the one that came with the car? One of them worked, the other one didn't, and I eventually fitted that. All right. Next up, the central cubbyhole lid had opened itself again, so I applied more tape to both sides, and I think that solved the issue. Yeah, perhaps I should do this without spraying. On a particularly cold winter's night, I used kitchen utensils to clean out the little tray, that little coin tray at the bottom of the dashboard there under the radio and the other tray. because it was very gooey and gunky. So I scraped that all out and I used some of this grey sticky on vinyl. I should have used black, but I prefer grey because my eyesight is going. And on the light grey you can see coins and keys and stuff much better. I fitted that, and then a week later I found the perfect one that came out of my C43 because I fitted a big box. Oh well. I also started removing the woolly seat covers and started treating and conditioning the leather seats in preparation for painting, because I'd bought El Cheapo Timu leather dye cream. Costs about 25 Rand a pound or something, and it works really, really well. More of that just now. I also removed the remaining wood trim from the passenger side door and applied some Timu adhesive wood vinyl sticker stuff. Not very well, and the grain and color didn't really match, so I just ordered some more because it was also cheap. At some point during winter, because the car was outside, I found a water leak down here. I haven't discovered where it's coming from yet, but I put the car under cover or in the garage and took extra care to dry it out very carefully, very slowly, with fans and heaters when I could. Also, the central cubbyhole lid had come undone again, so I think I added more magnets, and this time it was good. Then my friend Mikhail found a brand new, well, a good used door handle. It looks like brand new compared to what was on here, although he cautioned me not to fit it myself because it's a horrible job, which translation, he didn't want to do it either, so someone else did that. In the last video I said that this cover was repaired. It was not, it was actually replaced. So we replaced that, and we're going to have to find one of those soon. Okay, with me staring at a broken AC compressor, faulty thermostat, wonky indicator stalk, the door handle, new windscreen washer pump, and other mechanical niggles. My mechanic friend Rob, who's a classic Merc whisperer, took pity on me and worked his magic on the maroon C280, which also included preventative maintenance. The serpentine belt with a tensioner, rear differential, the oil was like tar, so he replaced that, gearbox service or flush. Oh, and the central cubbyhole lid, because that had come undone again. So it was permanently open, so he did his magic and it was closed with, I think, more tape and magnets and a bit of glue. Right, is it time for soap? I think it's time for soap. And at a local car meet, the central locking suddenly stopped working, and that turned out to be a faulty vacuum pump for the central locking system, which sits here in the right rear corner of the car. That's our driver's side. Mercedes-Benz has no more stock. If they did, it would be 26,500 Rand, which is more than half the value of the car. So I started shopping around for a good used one. Prices on Facebook Marketplace or whatever are between 500 and 1,500 Rand. 1,500 was the upper price that I paid from a fellow Mercedes-Benz club member. That pump was faulty though, and he took it back, so very happy. Second one was 500 bucks. I was scammed on that. Third one was a bit more than 500, but it eventually worked. Took a while until we got it going. Right, more spraying, more spraying. So around that time, towards the end of our winter, I unfortunately had to go to attend a funeral in Namibia, my home country. And while I was gone, I asked my wife to drive all my cars, which she did. She did her best. The only one she didn't drive was this one. And the battery died, the car's main battery. Obviously, once I got home and found my feet again, I charged it up, but it wouldn't start. It cranked, but it wouldn't fire. Also, the battery wasn't holding charge for very long. It would crank a couple of times and then basically die. Let me just quickly, hang on while you're there. Do that. Okay. What also started acting up was this boot lid. It just wouldn't release the boot anymore, and I had to mechanically unlock it the whole time, because obviously the battery sits in here, in the right rear corner of the car. So I kept charging up the car, but I needed some help diagnosing the problem. Most people suspected something, but it took a while until help came. Oh, and also the central cubbyhole lid had come undone again. All the sticky tape and the magnets, and so I put some more tape on, and I think some glue, but definitely more tape. It was full of tape. I think I went around the corners as well, and this time it was holding, I was sure of it. Also, welcome to what I now like to call the area of Juju. It's the right rear corner of the car. It's where you'll find the largest double scratch. Right there. Put some B-roll in. It's where the dead battery is, the broken CD shuttle, the wonky unlock button, the torn off handle on the floor. Did I mention the flat battery? Oh, the Dicky CD player. And eventually when people came around, they diagnosed the fuel pump, which is down there. So fuel pump, vacuum pump, CD player, water leak, scratch, Dicky button, broken off handle. I'm forgetting stuff. Lots of things. This is the area of Juju. Everything here is no good. It's cursed or something, I don't know. So because I'm a husband and a dad and a son and a business owner and a car collector and a journalist and a freelancer and a couple of other things, the C280 sat motionless for quite a few weeks before someone came to rescue it. I used the time to further soften up the leather seats. I put some conditioner and cream and stuff on it, and eventually dyed them with my cheapy Temu leather cream. I was so amazed by the effectiveness of the stuff, it's amazing, that I even made a time-lapse video, which you're probably seeing now, of the passenger seat, especially the seat bottom bolster. It's not a perfect repair, but wow, look at the difference. I can't believe it, and it costs like $25 or something, a pound. Really, really worth it, especially on a cheap car where you can't do much wrong. Right, by this time also the second round of Temu fake wood veneer vinyl had arrived, so I spent another wonderful hour or so on a sunny weekend afternoon, probably, to redo the passenger side wood trim. Let me actually show you. I'm very happy with it. Dare I say I'm getting better at it, and I might actually redo it at some point, if I feel like it, and I'm bored, which I never am. Too much to do. At some point, I also thought I'd replace all the wheels on the car. They're a bit curved, and to have them repaired would be a couple of thousand rand or a couple of hundred in your currency, and it's simply not worth it. So I found a set pretty quickly on Facebook Marketplace in a very good condition with polished lips. And as you can see, I didn't buy them because when I asked the seller for more pictures, also part numbers and from the back and seeing if they're cracked, he said, no, that's enough pictures. So we insulted each other for a while and I didn't buy them. Right, what else? Okay, foam bath, part 2. During his many visits to look after our joint charge, Mikhail came to fit Temu side indicator lenses. He also found a good used ashtray, which he fitted, and re-engineered the central cubbyhole lid because it had come undone again. This time he used super glue, and it would definitely not come off again. My cousin's arrival was thankfully moved to mid-September, so that gave us quite a bit of extra time and some breathing room to get the wine red C280 ready. Okay. My friends Mikhail and Leon kindly offered to replace the fuel pump, and they initially brought the wrong one, but then amidst loads of colourful Afrikaans words, they replaced the fuel pump. Plus they diagnosed the faulty battery, which I knew about, so I had to get a new one so that the central locking pump finally worked, which they also fitted. Baie dankie, Owens. Remember the missing jackhole cover, which has a piece of tape on it? That guy. Yeah, while we were working on the car on the other side, they jacked it up from that side. Mikhail or I put that tab from the other side in a box because I had ordered one of these for this side from eBay because, trust me, nobody, absolutely nobody in South Africa has any of these. So I got one from eBay and it arrived around about that time But when the boys were done, I had just upgraded my garage storage system to like from cardboard boxes to plastic boxes, and in one of the cardboard boxes lay that guy, and I inadvertently threw it away. Also, this is the area of Juju, as you can probably see. So the next thing that happened, we heard a loud bang when we tried to close the boot lid, and the spring snapped. Well, actually not the spring or its mounting point. The mounting bracket that sits here, metal on metal, about as big as a finger, had sheared clean off. And it is in the area of Juju, which now all three of us call it the area of Juju, because everything that goes wrong with this car is there. Oh yes, while we were busy, someone noticed that the central cubbyhole had opened itself again. So this time, I think it was Mikhail, we used all the neodymium magnets, or all of the ones that would fit, double-sided tape, doubled up, super glue, and we stuck it around the corners. So there was basically no way it would come undone again. The very next day, when I started driving the car, after it sat for a few weeks, I got a bulb warning on the dashboard, which turned out to be a parking bulb that was out at the back, on the right, in the area of Juju. Right, another thing I finally did was I tackled these armrests, and what I did, I cut off all the jagged pieces of the edges. They were quite hard. Let me focus the camera there. And I stuffed them with tissue paper. I applied this grey stick-on pleather vinyl. I'm not entirely happy with this bumpy result. It looks better than before, but I might redo it at some point. The color match is also not that great. Grain is all right. There, shoddy workmanship. So maybe I'll redo this at some point. It is cheap stuff. It is a cheap car, so if I'm bored again, which I never am, I might do that. And I did the same on the other side there. That's the grey. Doesn't look too bad. Maybe we can do a before and after, and you'll see it's a reasonably good improvement. Towards the end of August, when I came out of jail for a second time for killing all my neighbor's dogs, I temporarily gave up on finding a decent steering wheel because, unbelievably, all the used ones are quite disgusting and in a worse state than ours. Okay, I'm losing battery and the will to live. With my neighbor's dogs now dead, their alarm has started going off. Anyway, that central cubbyhole lid had come undone again. I think at this point I gave up because it was basically just covered in glue, magnets and tape. I also gave up for now on this. This is the least garish steering wheel cover I could find. It was also $150 off Take-A-Lot, and I have fitted it for now just to hide this ugliness underneath it. But if I can, I will either have this recovered, which is expensive, or just get a replacement steering wheel. This is one of my pet peeves, especially if they don't match in color, if it's like a beige car with a black wheel or a brown one or rim, because it is one of my pet peeves, because what is it hiding? Ugh, damage, neglect, dirt, disappointment. Ugh. There are actually two alarms going off. Isn't that fun? Okay, there we go. All right, having opened and checked and researched the rear door speakers, they are 4-inch or 10 centimeters in diameter, by the way. I bought a suitable pair of Pioneer units and attempted the replacement early in September. I couldn't get the fourth screw out, so I called Mikhail, who invited me over to Leon's house, where they were actually busy on another 202 that Mikhail is currently selling. The two gents replaced the speakers for me, weer eens baie dankie, meneer. And you can probably now see that I documented some of the process, which includes bliksoming the speaker out of its housing, maybe breaking a piece of it off, and removing the Pioneer mounting tabs, clips, eyelids, ears, whatever you want to call those. And then, after I got arrested for a third time for killing all my neighbor's dogs, we bent the door card into submission, or Mikhail did, used a comedy-sized screwdriver and some contortionist movements to get that in there. I also used that time to apply more grey sticky oni felt material to the shredded driver side B-pillar bottom. The trim around the door is actually still torn, and I'm just going to have to find a decent one. We found in the scrapyard, but it was green with moss, so we didn't take it. Obviously the fluffy grey sticky oni stuff we used from, is it Temu? No, from Takealot. Is a bit too light of a shade, but the stuff I bought from Temu, which is less fluffy but darker, was a completely wrong shade, so we went with that one. Another quick job I did myself while we were there was to fit a new CD shuttle. This is one of my dad's units with a proper cover, and the second one I put in also said no mag, and this one plays CDs. I have since filled it with loads and loads of 90s and millennium, turn of the millennium CDs. Think Robbie Williams, Spice Girls, Buxton Boys, that sort of thing. Around mid-September, although we'd probably forgotten a few things, my cousin arrived and finally got to meet Scarlett, and took her for a couple of days. It was almost a week that she drove around with her, and you know what happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The car performed flawlessly. My cousin was understandably worried about the whole fuel pump and aerial juju thing, although I only told about that late. Or have I? Does she know about the aerial juju? Anyway, the car performed flawlessly, and a good time was had by all. AC works, keys worked. What are these things here? Proper clean. There we are. Everything worked perfectly. And then Scarlett came back, and my wife complained that I have too many cars, and now I'm doing videos on it so that I can make some money and potentially rent her out or sell her. We don't have Toro or Turo. Is it Toro or Turo? That rental thing? We don't have that. Oh, perhaps I should start it. I've got enough of a fleet already. And then at another one of my regular Cars and Coffee car meets, the scrapyard owner from across the road invited us over to have a look through his wares, and he's mostly got E90 parts and Land Rover Discovery bits, but in between his assistant got some 202 parts. I think they were from a pre-facelift car, and he gave me a really good package deal because I think he wants to sell or close shop, and that's the stuff you've been seeing here. Wood trim, but I believe that's from a pre-facelift car, and most importantly, okay, there's a spare light switch. This bloody tab, that mechanical tab, which Mikhail immediately installed because he was at the show, and there it is. I cannot tell you what amazing emotions I get from having this effing thing stay where it's supposed to be. That is the best 400 Rand I've spent all year. Anyway, sorry, I'm hot. I hope this video was mildly entertaining and very informative. Please keep an eye out for our other videos in this series. Let me know what I did right or wrong. Can't wait to hear it. We'll try and reply to all your comments. And see you on the next one. Bye. Ooh, contingency. Sorry. Not supposed to see that. Right.